If, two letters, together form just a small word that creates a space for a pause. And what lies on the other side of that if tells a lot about a person. A place for somebody to wonder what could be if their dreams are filled, or a place where attention is on someone else's responsibility to fulfill my expectations. Perhaps, if somebody would just do this or that different, then everything would be better. It's a pause where we can begin to wonder when things are going to change and what could bring that change. If it is the initiation of pursuit, it is the hope of breakthrough. If it is the direction of our thoughts, the orientation of our desires, and drives of our emotions. But what if we started that pause with the one who spoke into the original silence?
Good morning again. For those who don't know, I'm Dione Bolding, the lead pastor here at Bowie Awesome City Church. And I'm glad you are here this morning. Like I said once already, if you guys didn't know that the city of Bowie was ranked the 20th best city to live in the nation, which is awesome. I'm pumped up about it because I love Bowie. I might run for mayor for Bowie like when I'm 90, but I love Bowie so much, so I was pumped up to see that we are a place that people want to live, and we want to reach out as a church out to those families as they come here and want to live. And so be a part of what's going on great here in Bowie, which is awesome. How many of you, before I say this, Happy New Year to everyone? Happy New Year. How do you say it in Spanish? I said, there you go. Feliz año nuevo. There you go. I'm going to take Spanish lessons one day. I forgot my Bible is in my backpack. Can someone go get it and bring it up here, please? That would be great. Thank you, Jonathan. How many of you last year made New Year resolutions? Anyone last year? No one? Good. How many of you are making some this year? Anyone have goals this year, resolutions? Good. There we go. Participation. I will keep asking questions until you start answering them, so make sure you respond. I have one resolution this year. I am a person that loves goal setting, loves accomplishing goals and making resolutions, and I haven't told anybody what my resolution is, and then you guys are going to be the first one, thank you, sir, to hear what my resolution is. So here it is. My resolution this year is not to make any. That's it. I'm not making a joke. I'm really not making any resolutions because I never accomplished all of them, and I feel let down. And I'm like, I was all pumped up for the new year, and then come May, I'm like, what did I even put down? I don't remember. So no resolutions this year. What we are going to do, what I have done, and we did this in youth group, and I encourage you guys to do it. Make your resolutions, make your goals, be goal-oriented people, which is awesome. But we are adopting, or I have adopted this. I learned this from one of my leaders and bosses when I was in FCA, Jimmy Page, who encouraged everyone to get a word of the year. Pray on what you feel like God really wants to speak through you, wants you to meditate on throughout the year. And so last year, I brought that up to the youth group, and they were like, that would be awesome. And so as a youth group, we selected a word, each person selected a word, and then we painted the words. And so last year, this was my word. Let me make sure I have it right. All right. This was my word last year. I painted this. It's a Picasso now. It's going in the Smithsonian. But this is what I painted last year, and my word last year was greater. I wanted to see God do greater things in my life. I wanted him to be greater in my life, and I applied it a lot of different ways. And God showed up greatly last year in our life. From in August, where we found out we were going to have to move, our landlord was kicking us out, and we were going to sell the house. And then my wife got a new job, double her income. I got a settlement for my shoulder injury, was a down payment, and we moved into a brand new house. We went from not having nothing to God's like, I got your back. Here you go. God's plans are always greater than my own plans. So that's really resonated with me last year. So greater was last year. I have a new word. Some of you already know what it is. I'm not telling it. But what we're going to do as a church, we are going to adopt this, because I'm the leader and I can make some rules up. We're going to adopt this for this year. So we want everyone to be in prayer about what God may want to say to you or through you throughout the year. Some of you already do this. You have a word of a year that you live through. We're going to do that. What is God trying to say to you this year? What do you think he wants to focus on? So I have been praying about it since November. I started praying and just wanted a word that I felt like was that was it. Once I had it, once I knew it, I was like, that's the word. So we're going to do that the last Friday of this month in January. I think it's the 25th of January. We're going to have a paint night. Paint night without the wine. No wine and paint night. We're not doing minus the wine. We're going to do the paint night, and what that means is we're going to get together at 7 p.m. Where the youth group usually meets at the Life Center, which is on Old 450. And this is going to be for middle school students and up. So if you have little ones, get a babysitter. But we're going to have this for adults, for middle school, high school students. It's still their youth group night to come out and paint. Pick your word. Be in prayer. You got 4 weeks to get a word. God, what do you want me to? And you come with that word in your mind, in your heart. And then we're going to give canvases like this, probably a little smaller because there's a lot of y'all and we're a little church. But we're going to have canvases. If you do want to donate to paint night, we would love that to help with the supplies. But we're going to give you a canvas. We'll give you paint, and you'll be able to paint your word. And then we're going to take some time to actually share why you feel like this is the word God gave you. So I already have my word for the year. I'm going to share it in detail on the 25th. We're going to have more detail. We'll give out information, but we want to put that in your calendars, in your mind now. What is the word of the year for you? And then come and paint it, and then have a spot in your mind where you want to hang it up for this year. Don't paint it and leave it in the trunk. Like, that's not going to do you any good. Paint it and put it in a place where you feel like God has something to say to you throughout the year. So that's on the 25th. I want to make sure you guys knew about that and have that. So, what if? Everyone say, what if? Any guys ever played that game? What if? Yes, no, yes. I'm not asking rhetorically. I'm asking you. Play that game, what if? What if? I've done this before. I remember when when I was in the fire department and the Mega Millions got to like $1 billion, and we did like, what if we won the lottery? Like, as a station, we all put in, picked numbers, and they're like, you're a pastor. You can't. I'm like, I'm just picking numbers. Y'all want to give me some money? Y'all can give me some money if we win. But I was like, man, what if we won the lottery? We would do this, we would do that. We played out. Anybody ever done that? Like, if I won $1 million or $1 billion, we would do this, we would do that. What if? What if God thinks, what if we lived here? What if, and you have this place in mind, like, what if every time we go to Florida, we always, every single time where we're driving to, most times Disney World, my wife and I say, what if we lived here? Like, we were like, oh, this would be awesome. And then, like, the grass is greener on the other side. Like, we do this. What if we lived here? What if I got some new clothes? Maybe that's what it is. It's not the body, it's the clothes. Maybe I get some new clothes and things would be better, would be right. What if I went to a new school? What if I went to a new school? What if I went to the school of my choice for those who are looking to go to college or to go into further education? What if we had a baby? Now, I'll tell you, if we had a baby right now, I would do two things. I would cry. A little bit of tears of joy, but more tears of like, oh no, we're starting over. I would cry. So when I get my brother's, his nephew's baby nephew, I look at him like, what if I had a baby right now? Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you have the baby. So what if we had a baby? What if, church? What if we lived our lives full of grace, full of truth, full of faith, full of love? What would that look like? What would that feel like? What would it be like if we fully obeyed God 100%? Not 99%, 100%. When God said moved, we moved. When God said speak, we spoke. When God said give, we gave. When God said get up, we got up. When he said sit down, we sat down. When he said be quiet, we were quiet. When he said be still, we would be like 100%. How would that feel? What would that look like? If you don't know what that would feel like, it looks like Jesus. That's exactly what it looks like. If you want to know what it looks like to obey God 100% of the time, not my will, but your will, read Jesus. He is the epitome of obeying God. He is the epitome of what if. What if God was 100% real in my life and I lived that way? You would be Jesus. You would be Christ. Not that you can be a savior to anyone, but you would be Christ to those around you. What if? What if we fully pursued our vision as a church to reach people and families so they become fully devoted followers of Jesus Christ? That is our vision statement, to reach people and families so they may become fully devoted followers of Jesus Christ. What if we were fully committed and devoted to that? As we start this new year and as we move into 2 weeks from now, will be 5-year celebration of us being a church. It'll be 5 years, which is awesome. Yeah, you can clap for that. I clap for that. I clap for it by myself when I'm in the car. I'm like, yes, God, 5 years, you're good. 5 years of us being your church. We're 2 weeks away from that. What if God really moved through our church in this 5th year? Not saying he hasn't, but what if he did it in a way that we haven't seen before? What if? What if we lived our core values out as a church? What if we lived them out as a family? What if you lived them out as an individual? And you're saying, I don't know what your core values are. Yes, you do, because they're behind me every Sunday. Our core values. What if we were the found people who actually found people? What if we were the people who actually gave out of the grace that was given to us? The grace that was given to us was Jesus. He gave his life for us. What if we were the ones who actually served others first? Like every single time we served other people before we served ourselves. What if we actually did life together? And it's easy for us to do life with you, but sometimes it's not easy for me to open my life up to you. What if we actually did that 100% of the time? So church, that is what we're going to focus on. This series is about us living, us pursuing, us if we really live every core value. What it would look like if we actually move through and engage and live through our vision statement and our core values, and not that they're just things on a banner and not just a statement on a website, that it was actually something that moved us, that was our call and purpose to be a part of this church. I want everyone with me to turn to Luke chapter 15. Luke 15. I don't know what it is in the Greenhouse Bibles. It's going to be on the screen as well, but Luke 15 in your devices, in your Bibles. Luke chapter 15. If you're there, say I'm there. If you're not there, say I'm not. Oh, there's more knots in here. Y'all better get on it. Come on, let's go. Luke 15, Luke chapter 15. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. It's the third gospel, third book in the New Testament. Chapter 1, or verse 1, it says this. Now, this is Jesus. Let me give you a little context of what's going on. Jesus has been around doing ministry, and we just go right into verse 1 where it says, now the tax collectors and the sinners were all gathering around to hear Jesus. Let me say this. As what kind of church do you want us to be? I'm asking you to think, what kind of church do you want us to be? Not the kind of church that I want us to be. What kind of church do you want this church to be? People have different ideas of what church should be, what kind of songs we should sing, how we should sing the songs, the genre of how we should play the songs that are sung on Sunday morning. What happens back in City Kids? We have our ideal preference of what we want to happen in our youth group. We have our preference of how we want like a ministry to happen out in the city, what missionaries we should support, even what version of the Bible we read. We all have our preferences of what we want to see what happen in church. How we want the word preach. Do you want like this style of preaching, or do you want more like teaching style preaching, or do you want more like Pentecostal breathe, like where I gotta like do breathing lessons and like breathe in between? Y'all know what I'm talking about, like some southern like fire brimstone preaching. Like we have our preferences of what kind of church do you want this church to be? The kind of church I want this to be is the one that Jesus is being. Jesus, which is crazy to me, Jesus drew people to him. And the kind of people that Jesus drew unto him were the tax collectors and the sinners. It says, now the tax collectors and the sinners were all gathering around to hear Jesus. That is a difference from the church today. There aren't too many. Now, I'm very general statement, but I don't see the world coming to the church to hear about Jesus, to hear what Jesus has to say. I don't hear those who are on the outside or those who are fringes, the tax collectors. They weren't liked in society because they took advantage of society. They worked for the man. Basically, you were like, if you're a federal government employee, you're the man. Like that's not really, but to them, you were opposing their people. You were oppressing them by taking their money. So they were on the outside. They weren't liked by society. And then you have the sinners. We know what y'all know some sinners? Yeah. We know what sinners in our head look like. So those are the people who were attracted to Jesus. Those who were supposed to be attracted to Jesus, the Pharisees, the Christians, those followers of God, they weren't attracted to him. He was something totally opposite. And I'm like, you know what? Kind of church I want is the one where those kind of people will say, I want to go to Bowie City Church. Why were they attracted to Jesus? Why were they attracted to Jesus? They were attracted to Jesus because he was, his kindness led to repentance. He was full of grace. He was full of mercy. He was full of truth. He was full of where you come to a place and like, this is where you can feel welcomed here. There's a kind of, Jesus kind of guy was like, it's okay for you not to be okay. It's just not okay for you to stay that way. Why don't you come hang out with me? He's the kind of person that's not going to make you feel guilty for where you are, but your conviction, his conviction in you is going to move you to be more like him. Either you want to be more like him or it's going to make you go away from him. Jesus made you choose. Either you were all in for Jesus or you were not want to do anything with him. He wasn't the kind of guy where you were like, yeah, he's cool. No, you're like, no, he is the dude or I can't stand that guy. Jesus is that guy, that figure that says, either you're all going to be for me or you're going to be against me. And I want to be a church where it's a safe place for people to come and say, I'm messed up. I'm broken. I'm hurting. And I need to come to this place because you have Jesus there. That's the kind of church. I don't care about any of this other stuff. This stuff is all cool and good and helps to be comfortable. One day we will get you guys padded chairs. It will, like, keep praying. They're coming. Like, I do want you to be comfortable and things of that sort. But the thing I want us to be known about is that Jesus is here. And that church gives Jesus. And that pastor up there, he talks about Jesus. And he tries to live Jesus. And the people around them, they just ooze Jesus. I got to get around them. That is what's unique about this verse, that they were gathering around to meet Jesus, to hear about Jesus. So verse 2 says this, but the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, this man welcomes sinners and eats with them. The people of the church, who were supposed to be welcoming everybody, were the ones who were like, look at this guy. Look who came to the church. Y'all see what she had on? Oh my goodness. Y'all see? Look at those kids. They brought those kids in here and they're running around like crazy. Oh my gosh. Can't believe they brought those children. Do you see that guy with all those tattoos? That's crazy. Did you hear what he said? Did you hear how he's talking? That guy cursing in church. Oh my gosh. Do you smell him? He smelled like smoke, and he smelled like the other, like that funny cigarette. He smelled like that. Smelled like he'd been drinking last night. Y'all smell him? Y'all know where they live, right? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. They coming to church. That's the Pharisees. And that's the kind of thing that happens in church. Where they're like, do you see how they dress? See how they came to church? Do you see like their kids? They're running around like crazy, tearing up the place. They're breaking all the toys in the back. Why do they keep coming? Do you see they smell horrible? They smell so bad. You see how they're worshiping God? They're dancing around, they're shouting. You hear how they're singing off key. They don't even know the words. They dancing hip hop to the song. They don't. What are they doing? Oh my, we gotta get them out of here. And Jesus is like, come on. Hey, it's okay not to be okay. It's just not okay to stay that way. Come on. That's the kind of church we want to be. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I just wanted to make sure we know that that's who we are as a church. That is the heartbeat of our church, to meet you right where you are in the middle of your mess, in the middle of what's broken, in the middle of what's good, in the middle of what's bad, to say, come, this is a safe place because I want to take you from where you are to where you need to go. So what if? What if we're going to talk about here is in Luke 15:8 to 10. 15:8 to 10. What if? What if, church, we were a church? There's one over here that says found people, find people. What if we were actually a church where the found people find people? Like, what would that look like? What would that feel like if we lived that one core value out? It says this in Luke 15:8 through 10. It says this. Or, so this or there is because Jesus already told one parable, and the parable or the story that he told before this one is the one about the lost sheep. You can read it on your own about a sheep that got lost and what the shepherds did. Now the second story says this. Or suppose a woman has 10 silver coins. How many coins she had? 10. And she lost one. How many did she lose? 1. Does she not light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? And when she finds it, she calls her friends and her neighbors together and says, rejoice with me, for I have found my lost coin. In the same way, I tell you, there is rejoicing in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. All right, we're going to live in this verse right here. We're going to break this down. It says this. All right, so how many coins did she have? 10 coins. She had 10 coins. What is special about these coins? Coins are not very special to us in our society. We do have coin collectors, but they are a very small few. Coins are just not a big deal. They're in your ashtray in your car. They're in the seats and your cushions. They're not a big deal to us. So what will make these coins special? Well, these 10 coins are special for two reasons, and we're going to have some pictures that come up that kind of illustrate why does it even make sense to them and why it should make sense to us. So there's two reasons why. One reason is that a Palestinian woman commonly received 10 silver coins as a wedding gift. It's called a dowry, as a wedding gift. And this is how the coins came. This is how they would display the coins. They wouldn't put them in a drawer and get them and put them in a drawer. They would display, this is the wedding gift that was given to me. It can be given to by the groom. It can be given to by her dad. It can be given by the groom's father. Usually those are the three people who would give it, her dad, the groom's father, or the husband would give this to the wife as a gift. So there's that to it. There's just a wedding gift. Second is that each coin was worth a daily wage. Each coin was worth 1 day's wage of work. Now, I want you to think about how much you make in 1 day. You just calculate it, do the fast math. If you went to PG County schools, you got math down. I know it. You get that. You know it. You can break it down. If you don't know, let me just give you the average for United States. So 2018, I looked it up. The average wage for a day for one person is $170. That's the average. So 1 day's work, you would make $170. That comes to be about $21 or $22 in average pay an hour. That's the average. So $170. So each coin in our day was worth $170. Okay, so put that in your mind. So if you lost $170, what would you do? It would not be a good day. This is not a good day. Your husband calls, "Hey, love, how's things going?" I lost $170. You lost what? Hold on, back up. Let's start this over. How'd you lose $170? See what had happened, and then you would go on, and he'd be like, "Well, we gotta find this money. We gotta find." So put that in your mind when it comes to losing one of these coins. One, it had a monetary value. It was worth some money. And it being worth money wasn't worth money just so you can pay your bills. It was like her bling bling. You saw she was like, look at my bling bling. It's like the grills of today people have diamonds in their teeth. That was that. It was like, look, my husband bought me some diamond grills. It's like my husband got me this coins and it's worth a lot of money. People knew exactly what that was. So it had that. It would have been her life savings. Most women did not have any money of their own, and so to get this gift was giving them money. Basically, was giving them money, $100 or $1,700 in our day, in our money. That's how much she was given. So she had some money. It was kind of could have been her emergency fund. If something goes wrong, I would hate to do this, but I could take one of these coins and we can get that fixed. And now I wouldn't have it, but at least we can have some funds for emergency. It was kind of her inheritance. Women didn't really get inheritance from their father or from their husband. So this was kind of this is yours, and you can do what you want. She probably wanted to pass it down to her daughter or to her granddaughter or to her son's wife one day. It was this gift that she was going to be able to give one day. It was something she looked forward to. So it had this monetary value, but it also had this sentimental value. It was a wedding gift. You got this on your wedding day. Now, my wife and I have been married 15 years, and we still have gifts. Thank you, Julie. We still have gifts that we have from our wedding day. And there's times I try to get rid of stuff. She's like, "Don't get rid of that." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "We got that when we got married." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I don't care. I not say I don't care, but I didn't okay. I didn't know it was that sentimental. But then there's things that she wants to get rid of. I'm like, "Don't get rid of that. We got that on our wedding day." She's like, "Really? This is old." So for me, we have our, like, she still has her bouquet, like, walk down the aisle bouquet. Still have it, right? And we were moving, and she's like, do you really want to carry around these dead flowers anymore? I'm like, don't you get rid of that. Well, I'm like, give me that. Put it in the box. I'm like, put it up here. Like, don't get rid of that. She's like, why are you keeping? Because you walked with those down the aisle when I first saw you. She's like, okay, they're dead. Like, she's like, get rid of them. But some sentimental value when things are given to you on your wedding day. Think about it this way. Like, if you had a wedding ring and you had 10 precious stones on it and one of the stones fell off. Like, that's kind of put it that equivalent. When I was a kid, I shared this story before at church. I think it was the first 2 years of the church. But I learned the value of a wedding ring from my mom. I was helping my mom cook dinner one night. I've told the story before. Helped her cook dinner. She was making meatloaf, right? So I learned when you're making meatloaf, you take all your rings off because we're about to get messy. She's like, all right, Dad, take my rings off. And this ring she had was it was her upgraded ring. My dad went out and got her upgraded ring. Upgraded, like, it was like, oh, Mom, look at your wedding ring. And I was like, dang, Dad, look at your new wedding ring. Woo, you got a raise or something. Like, she got a new ring, and she was like, she was all happy. So she was like, let me put my rings off. And she starts making the meatloaf. Like, we're kneading it, and I'm getting my hands in there, and we're getting it all done, and we're putting it in the loaf, and put it in the oven, and we're cleaning it up. And my mom was washing the dishes, and she's like, she's like, where's my ring? I was like, I thought you took it off. She was like, I can't remember if I took it off. She's like, it slipped into the meatloaf. And I'm like, oh no. And she like opens the door and she pulls the rack out. I'm like, Mom, it's right here. She's like, oh, I was about to tear through that meatloaf. I'm telling you, I'm going to bake my ring. I was like, oh, a ring is really important. It's more than just like you got married. She was like, I'm not baking my ring. Like, this is not happening. And I was like, okay. Rings are important because we were about to lose dinner that night. So it had this sentimental value as well. So just want us to understand, this doesn't mean much to us in our world, but if you put it into money value, you put it into wedding gift, sentimental value, then you're like, okay, got it. Okay, so what did she lose? We know she had 10 coins. What did she lose? 1. She lost 1 coin. Okay, and where did she lose the coin? It says it in the verse. She lost it at her house. She lost it in her home. Things get lost in our home every day. So I looked it up. What's the most common things lost in a house? And I have the top 5. There's 10 of them, but I'm going to give you the top 5 that were through this survey. So let's see if you get these right. Think of number 5. Number 5 is sunglasses or glasses. It's the 5th most lost item in the household. All right, so that's number 5. What do you guys think number 4? Don't show it yet. What's number 4? Just call out. All right, let's see what number 4 is. Paperwork. How many of y'all got to sign y'all kids' homework? Y'all ever do that? Or you got an agenda book? Hey, where's your agenda book? Oh. Hey, where's your homework? Or my wife's like, hey, where's the mail? I thought I put it over there. Did one of you boys move the mail? I was waiting for something and now I can't find it. Like, oh gosh. All right, paperwork. Don't lose paperwork. What's number 3? Don't show it. What is it? Number 3. Number 3. Car keys. Car keys is the 3rd most lost item in the home, especially when you lose your keys and you're holding them in your hand. Don't you hate that? You're like, where are my keys? Like, oh yeah, they're in my hand. Number 2. Go ahead. House keys. And I'm like, aren't your house keys together? Like, who does that? Unless you're in middle school, then you don't have a car key, then you lose your house keys. And number 1, what do you think it is? And it's your phone. How many people lose their phone at least once a day? I do it all the time. If you have an iPhone, you get a watch and it pings it and you can find it really easy. Your phone. Those are the 5. There's 10 items. Some of the things you guys listed were on there. Your wallet gets lost, clothes, socks, shoes, things that sort. We all lose things. Here's another survey. This other survey says that more than 45% of us lose this daily. This is like the thing that gets lost the most in the house. It's a remote if you don't know what it is. It's a remote. 45% of us lose this at least once a week. And 71% of us lose this monthly. Next comes the cell phone, which is 33%. House or car keys, 26%. Sunglasses, 27%. Shoes or socks, 24%. And wallet and purse, 20%. Which means 1 in every 5 Americans misplace something important daily. Like, those are all important things. Your glasses, your house keys, your cell phone, your wallet. The remote's not too important. But we lose things all the time. It's all the time. Some of us y'all remember you had to get up and turn the channel? You remember when you were the remote as a kid? At my grandparents' house, they didn't have a remote. So my grandfather was like, hey, boy, go there and click that channel. I'm like, oh, like, get up, click, and stand by it. You stand by it, like, this is what you want to watch? Nah, click it again. This is what you want to watch, Granddad? Yeah, leave it there. No, change channel. I'm like, Granddad, I'm leaving. I'm going outside. This is too much. I was a remote growing up at my grandfather's house. All right, so let's break this down. We kind of got an understanding of losing a coin and the value of that. So let's apply this to our lives as it goes to one of our core values. Who does the woman represent in the parable? The woman represents Jesus. Jesus is the woman in the parable, okay? How do we know that Jesus is the one in the parable? Because a few chapters later in Luke 19, Luke says that Jesus says this. Jesus says, for the Son of Man has come to seek and save which was lost. And so Jesus was telling a parable about, because they were talking about him, the Pharisees, how he walks with sinners and all that. And he's like, hey, and he tells a story about the woman who lost a coin. And so he's like, I'm the one who's looking for the coin, just like the woman. And I'm going to rejoice when we find it. So Jesus represents the woman in this story. We also know that Jesus is the one who looks for the lost, who's persistently looking. From Revelation 3:20, it says, Here I am. I stand at the door and I knock. And anyone who hears my voice and opens it, I will come in and eat with that person and they with me. Jesus says, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. I'm constant. I'm always searching. I'm always calling. I'm always knocking. I'm always trying to reach out to you. I am here. Jesus is the woman in this story. All right? Who does the coin represent? All right? It represents us. Us. And I'm going to break that down as we go down some more. But it represents us. Us, the people. We are the lost ones. Either you are lost or you've been found. In Jesus' mind, this is how either you are lost or you're found. Either you're one of the found ones or you're one of the ones that we're going to look for. There is really no middle ground. With Jesus, you can't be kind of lost. Jesus is like, no, either you lost or you're not. You know, you ever been there, like, you ever been kind of lost? Like in a place location? One of those locations you get lost at is like a mall. Like, you go to the map and they say, you are here. You're like, well, yes, I know where I am. Like, I know. When you walk through, you're like, yes, yeah, I am here. But I don't know where here is. And that's a lot of us sometimes. A lot of us don't feel like we're lost, but you're actually lost. You're like, no, I'm here. I know where I am. We're like, no. But you're lost. Just because you know you are doesn't mean you know where you're going. Just because you know where you are doesn't mean you're going to the place you need to get to. And so just like a map that's trying to tell you you're here and this is how you get to that destination, Jesus is like, yeah, you're right there and you're lost. You don't even know it, though. The coin doesn't know it's lost. The coin has it doesn't understand. But the person that puts the value on the coin knows that it's lost. So as Jesus looks at us, he says, you're lost, you don't even know it. You don't even know how valuable you are to me. I'm coming to find you. I'm coming to find you. I'm coming to seek you out. So we got the lost people. Either you are lost or you aren't lost. In Jesus' mind, that's how it is working in this parable. And then the home. What does the home represent? You're like, ooh. The home represents the church. Hear me when I say this. There are lost people in the church. There are lost people in the church. And you feel like, no, this is where the saved people come to go out of the church to get the lost people. No. Jesus is like, I draw everyone unto me, and the people I draw to me are the lost. And so they come to the church. The lost people come to the church so they can get saved, so they can get healing, so they can be a part of a body of believers that love, so they can do life together, so they can give graciously, so they can be served first, so they can find each other, so they can do life together. That's why they come. the church is the home, and there's lost people in the home. There's a bunch of saved ones. There's 9 other coins that were saved, that were together doing what they're supposed to be, but there was one that was lost. And this morning, I know every Sunday, I believe it, there's no way in the world that this room is full with 100% of people who, if they took the last breath here, would be in the presence of the Lord. There's no way. There's just no way. So, someone in this room is lost. They don't know who Jesus is in their life. They don't know when they take the last breath here if they're going to be in the presence of him or not with him. So Jesus is trying to get them to understand, like, hey, the parable with the sheep I talked about, that was like in the wilderness. Like the sheep was lost in the wilderness. A whole different sort of circumstances that are going on there, and a whole different like approach to that story. And then we go to the story after this one. We have the lost son who knew right from wrong and decided I was going to leave what I know to be right. And then I came to my senses. I come back, and the Father accepts them, and that's like the church accepting or God accepting, and you walk away. But this one is like, you can be lost right in the church. You could be thinking that you're doing good, and you're like, you're lost. And it may not even be spiritually lost. It may be like you're lost in your marriage. You may be lost in your finances. It may be lost in your relationships with your family or friends. You may be lost in your career. You may be lost in your purpose. But there's people who are all different variants of being lost. And Jesus is like, I'm looking for them. I'm coming to seek them. I'm coming to find them. So let's define lost. Let's define it. Lost means this. This is from dictionary.com. It says, unable to find one's way or cannot be recovered. That's just the main definition. There's a whole lot of other ones that we use the word lost that mean different things. But it's unable to find one's way or cannot be recovered. The lost Jesus is seeking are those who are spiritually lost. They have spiritually lost their way, or they're in a place where they cannot be spiritually recovered. If you're spiritually lost, you're either lost your way, or you have come off the path that you know you should be on, or you've come detached, like the coin that would be on the headdress of the woman came detached. You have detached yourself from what you're supposed to be, or you cannot be recovered. Your mama tried to help you, she couldn't help you. Your daddy tried to help you, he couldn't help you. Your coaches, your teachers, and your mentors, they tried to help you, they couldn't help you. The government and systems are trying to help you. There was no, like, you cannot be, like, everybody's tried to help you, and you are, in their case, lost. A lost soul. Anybody ever heard the phrase lost cause? Anyone ever met any lost cause people? You can raise your hand. I know some. And we're like, they're lost cause. Like, God's going to have to come in and do it. Jesus, either you have lost your way, like spiritually lost your way, can't find one's way, unable to find my way, or you're like the other extreme, like there's no hope for you outside of Christ. The pastor can't help you. The elders in the church can't help you. The government can't help you. The system can't help you. You need Jesus to find you. Have you ever lost your way, church? Have you ever felt like you've lost your way? I've had some close friends. This came to mind when I was writing this. I had some close friends where they were on vacation, and one of their children ended up missing, just lost. Like, where the heck did our kid go? And for 20 or 30 minutes, I can only imagine the panic and the pacing of the heart and trying to find their child, and their child feeling like, I'm lost. And their panic, and then they got the reunion, and like, oh, thank God you're safe, and why would you do that to me? Don't you ever? And like, oh, I'm sorry. Like that whole thing that happens when kids end up missing and not being where they're supposed to be. I can imagine that, but I've been lost before. I've been in that place. I've been lost in my sin. If you're not like me, you might be like, you may not have that, but I've been lost in the midst of my sin. I have lost my way spiritually at times. I've been where the woman of the well has been, where she's committed the same sin over and over. And Jesus is like, no, the man that you're with now, like you've been with four or five other dudes. Like I've been in that, like in the same sin over and over. I've been like Peter, where he denied Jesus 3 times. I've denied, like, Jesus, God's like, do this. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Hey, go talk I don't want to do that. I've denied what God's called me to do multiple times like Peter. I've lost my way like Peter has. I have lost my way like David when he looked lustfully upon Bathsheba and like lost his way, and the effect that the cause and effect of that has just rippled through his life, and it changed so many other people's lives because he was lost in his sin. I've been knee deep, neck deep, over my head, lost in sin. You're like, but you're the pastor. I'm just like you. I'm just fulfilling the call that God's placed in my life. I've been lost. I've lost my way, unable to find my way. And for some, you may be in that place too. You're like, I've lost my way. And the blessing and the great thing about being part of the church is like, you know what? But you're around a bunch of found people. You're around a bunch of people who are like, hey, I feel like you're losing your way. Come be around us. Hey, I feel like you're losing your way in your marriage. Let us come help you find your way back. Hey, I know you lost your way in your finances. Let us come help you back. You lost your way in your health. Let me come help you come back. You've lost your way in your relationships. Let us come and bring you back. Found people find people that are lost in all different facets, in all different ways. And know this. The worst thing to feel like when you're lost is that you're alone. Being lost with a group of people, sometimes it's fun. You're like, oh, we're lost. Oh my gosh, I can't. Well, unless it's with your wife and children and you're on your way and you're like, that's not good. But if you were some friends, you're like, oh, we're lost, and you're like, make the most of it, it's good. But when you're lost alone, you feel the most alone ever. You feel the most alone. Church, if you feel like you've lost your way, you're a bunch of people that you have to know that you're not alone. For we all have lost our way at some point in our life. We have all ultimately lost our way before we met Christ and knew that he was our way to salvation. We've all lost our way at point in our marriage. We've lost our way some point in our finances, in our relationships, in our health, and how we relate to people. We've lost our ways in all different points, but we are a church that comes and does life together. You're not alone. You don't have to do life alone. Know that you are not as lost as you think you are. We are around a bunch of found people. So let's look at the coin. Let's look at the coin one more time. The woman did she did 3 things to find the coin. She did 3 things. It says this in verse 8. It says, doesn't she light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? The first thing she does, she turns the light on. First thing she does, she turns on the light. Everyone say turn on the light. She turns on the light. It is very difficult to find something of significance in the dark. It's very hard. So, how are you going to turn on the light in your own life? How are you going to turn on the light in your own life? The way you turn the light on your own life is with this. This is the light. You got light switches in your house. You use them every day. Unless you're a candle person, then you're kind of weird. But you use this, the light. You use light switches. This is the light. It says this in Psalms 119, 108. It says, the word is the lamp for my feet and a light to my path. If I am lost, the first thing I need to do is go here. People come to me often and say, Dion, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I can't find it. And you let them get it out and you kind of work. And then 9 times out of 10, I ask this question. When's the last time you read your Bible? And 9 times out of 10, it goes, what's the Bible? I didn't even start, I don't know. I don't know when the last time I read my Bible. I'm like, how about we just put some little light, in the situation? Just a little bit. A little light goes a long way in dark places. A little light goes a long way in dark places. If you are in a place in your life where you feel like the light is out, start reading this. Just read it. This book has so many, and this book is life. Did you guys read the story about the kid who was lost at sea? This just happened. Lost at sea for days upon days in this little boat. He had no food. And when they found him, they asked him, how did he stay alive? He said, I read my Bible. He should be dead. They said he should be dead, dehydrated, crazy conditions. He said, I read my Bible. and God kept me alive. The Word kept me alive. When it was the most dark, I read my Bible. That's all he had with him. Turn the light on in your situation. The woman turned the light on. She turned the light on. She had her little oil lamp, and she's like, first thing I got to do, if I'm going to find this, there's going to be a picture that comes up, I'm going to find this light. She's looking for that one coin. She's looking. How am I supposed to find a coin in the dark? Y'all, how are you supposed to find your way in the dark? How are you supposed to find the way? In John, it says the light shines in the darkness, but the darkness did not understand it. The light comes into the dark places and makes things that were once hidden revealed. Turn on the light in your life. Wherever you have struggling, put the Word in your life and in that place. So the first thing she did, she turned on the light. Second thing she did, she cleaned up. She cleaned up. That's what the verse says. It says that she turned on the light and she cleaned. She swept. Everyone say clean up. If you have lost your way, if you're in this place, you're like, I can't find my way, maybe you need to just clean up. Maybe you need to clean house. I do this with my children. You may do it with your children when they're like, I can't find whatever. And you go in their room and it looks like a bomb has gone off. And you're like, okay, first, the light's on. All right, that's a start because you're not looking for it in the dark. Good job. How are we supposed to find anything in this? I don't know. How about we clean up? Let's start there. Let's clean the room. We might find it when we clean up. Church, if you start cleaning up some of your life, you might just find your way. You might just find your way. If you're in the mess of something, you're like, why am I in this mess? I can't find my way. Let me just get rid. There's some people that I need to stop hanging out with. There's some websites I need to start visiting. There's some talk shows I need to stop listening to. There's some music I need to stop. There's some things I need to stop eating. There's some ways I need to stop thinking. And I clean that up. I just might find, I found it. It's the first thing I tell my kids. I can't find my shoes. I look in the room. I bet you if you clean up your room, you'll find your shoes. Because 9 times 10, I already see it. I'm like, I see it. Clean your room, you'll find it. Ugh. And then they walk out with 2 shoes on. Oh, good job. You turn the light on, you clean your room. You found your lost shoe. You want to find your way, church. Let's start cleaning up some of our mess. Even if you need help with it, come ask us. I need to get out of this mess, but I need some help. We'll help you. We do life together here. That's what we do. So she turned on the light, she cleaned up, she swept the room, and then she searched. She saw out, she looked. And not that she just looked, like she didn't just do this kind of looking, like when your kids lose something. I don't use that because this happens in my house every day. I'm looking for it, they're like this. This is how they look. They look like this. What are you doing? I'm looking for my homework on the ceiling. Like what? It's not going to, I'm looking for, like, that's how, this woman searched. Like, not did she just clean up, she swept. She searched. And you need to search God the way that Jeremiah 29 says. You search God with your whole heart. Seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. All of it. When you are trying to find your way, seek out with everything you have. That means getting down on the ground. That means searching high and low. That means I might need to go outside and take a walk and see where I lost it. I mean, backtracking. I've turned on the lights. I've cleaned my room. I've done everything I can do to put things back in order. And now the search begins. Now it begins. When I was a firefighter, we would do these search and rescues. And we would go into dark rooms. It would be hot. And we would have our gear on. And we couldn't clean the room. And we couldn't turn on the light. But we just had to search, and it would be so much easier to search for a lost person, to search for, hopefully not a victim, for a person that's alive, if the light was on and the room was clean. Like you were like, there they are, right there. Come on out. We can let you out. But when you get in a fire, you get in a horrible situation where there's smoke and fire going on, it is very difficult to find someone in the dark, and there's a junky room, and things are everywhere, and I don't know where the table is, the couch is, so they teach us how to search. It's called a right-hand search. You get across the wall, and you stay to the right, and you keep right. Never turn back left, because that's how you get mixed up. So you right-hand search, and we learn how to do search and rescue, clear a whole room by keep going right. Don't go left, because now your space awareness is off, and you don't know you're in the middle of the room, or am I by the wall, am I by the bed now? Stay right, and then you keep right, you back out the room. And you're like, okay, we always did right-hand searches. Church, you need to turn on a light in your life, put some word in your life. You need to, when you do that, you need to clean up the mess. Start cleaning it up. And then start searching for your way. And you know what? This is what Jesus did for me. This is what Jesus did. He said, I am the light to come into the world. Jesus says that I'm the one who brings order into your life. Jesus says, I seek you out. I stand at the door and knock. I'm there for you. I will never leave you or nor forsake you. And he says, Dion, I found you. You are one of mine. And now you get to go out and do the same thing for someone else. You get to find other people who've lost their way. Jesus longs for, the verse ends with Jesus longing, with rejoicing that happens because he longs for those to repent. He longs for all of us to live a repentant life. Every single one of us. And that's not a moment statement like, I repent and now that's it. It is an ongoing, continuing process of living a repentant life. That is what he longs for from us. That's where the most joy happens in heaven. The moment that someone does repent and gives their life fully to Christ, awesome, but that's just the start. Now you continue to live a repentant life where you're like, I want to do only what the Father is saying, and I only say what the Father is saying, I only do what the Father is doing. That is what he longs for us and brings us the most joy. That's when a party is going on, because Jesus has this reckless love for us. There's nothing that can separate you from the love of God. Nothing. We're going to sing a song. And the song says there's no shadow he won't light up. There's no mountain he won't climb up coming after you. There's no wall he won't kick down. There's nothing that Jesus won't do to get to you. The only thing he won't do is make you do it. But he'll come after you. He'll find you. Church, let's be a church that has a heartbeat to find those who are lost. And let us be a church and a person and a family that says, I don't want to be lost. I will seek God. I'll put word in my life. I will have my life in order, and I will do all I can to search him out daily so I can be a part of those who go and find those who are lost. Let's pray. God, I thank you for the great God you are, how much you love us, Lord. We thank you for your grace and your mercy and what you've called us to be as a church. You called us to be this church that is to be full of you, to be less of ourselves, and to be full of you, full of your grace, full of your truth, full of your love, full of your mercy. And God, you've called us to be this church that live these 4 core values. And God, we want to be those who go out and find those who are lost. Only found people can go find those who are lost. If people are lost, you can't find lost people because you're lost yourself. God, speak to us. Show us where we're lost. Show where we're spiritually lost. Show us where we're lost in our marriages, in our relationship, in our finances. Show us where we're lost in our health. Show us lost where we're lost mentally, how we relate to people. Show us where we're lost in how we love ourselves, the lies we believe that other people tell us or the enemy. Show us where we're lost, God. Because a lost person is just a person who's unable to find their way or unable to recover themselves. God, we thank you. We thank you for the great God you are. Meet with us here. In Jesus' name, amen.